What's up guys, Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. If you want daily crypto news, be sure to like and subscribe and let's dive right in. So I want to kick things off briefly going over the charts before getting into a bunch of news as always. So we have XRP on the left and my personal favorite, Algorand on the right looking at the 4 hour. Now I assume if you got into XRP in November, you caught that run up, you even witnessed Coinbase wicking as high as 92 cents per XRP. Keep in mind, XRP was at like 10 cents, 11 cents, 15 cents in March, and everybody, even experienced investors, were losing faith. This just goes to show this is all psychology, guys. You can make money with patience and perseverance. To me, and hopefully to you guys, and hopefully, YouTubers you watch or, fundamental research or experience that you have, you understand this price is a distraction. This is simply trying to drag things out, up, down, tire us out, and make us second guess ourselves. So that's why I'm a big advocate of sharpening your sword when you're not in battle. So if you're not actively trading or buying, sharpen your sword. That means leveling up your information on charting or understanding the fundamentals, keeping up with the news and developments. That's what I'm trying to do all the time, 24/7, because I understand this asset class is going to swallow all others. XRP is one of the longest living digital assets. All right, and I know that's funny to say living, but it's one of the longest existing, I should say, digital assets in the space. The first one to go outside of proof of work for consensus. It has a $10 billion company behind it out of Silicon. The connections go on and on and on, and I know there's plenty of channels like mine. You guys can learn all about that. So essentially, we're wondering, is XRP going to go and finally blast through that 75-cent region where it couldn't really get through with the wicks, or even close over a 4 hour with 73 cents and make our way to $1? All good and great. Well, I would say the ball is in Bitcoin's court if it were to do that. Will Bitcoin finally break all-time high officially and go through that 20K mark? Potentially, and I would love nothing more than that. I've been here coming up on 4 years. In like 2 months, I want to get the show on the road, but arguably, I've witnessed XRP at half a cent as well, or under a penny at the very least. So also the other scenario though is its pullbacks are expected. Keep in mind, we rocketed from down here from even 25 cents, and on this exchange, 78 cents, 78.6, almost reminded me of Fibonacci retracement. But on Coinbase, went up to 92 cents. So that is crazy. These pullbacks are not only expected, these corrections are healthy. They have to condense, consolidate, and we either are going to get another push forward or another drop. So the big question is, what's going to happen next, and how are you going to prepare for it if you are buying with this market? Are you simply going to dollar cost average, which I think is a perfectly fine strategy, and long term it's typically very profitable? Because you have to understand this, guys, when you're weighing XRP between any other investment, if you think XRP is going to $10 or even $100 with ease, is it really that big of a difference between waiting from 57 cents to 40 cents? Now, this is your money. You have to bust out your own calculator here and decide for yourselves and understand the opportunity cost at play here. So also though, keep in mind 57 cents down and coming down to that region or even this additional point of support, you could potentially save 20% on your money and increase your position by that much as well. So very cool. And then if you did buy when it was, say, down 20%, as I showed in previous videos, say 45, 46 cents, we'll go from there. And now when you buy with, say $1,000, $10,000 and wrote it back up, you already made 27% on your money. So very powerful stuff. So I understand that every single penny counts. Absolutely. And the only way I would stop buying XRP altogether is whether maybe I just need to diversify and I've been buying it for several years, or essentially I found a different investment vehicle that may outperform it. So to each their own. Obviously XRP is one of my biggest holdings. I don't think anything's going to change that anytime soon, and I'm expecting those moon prices with you. It is simply a matter of time. It's not if, it is absolutely just a question of when. So really quick, I'm going to pull up these Fibonacci pivots just to take a quick look here. I love using the retracements, but as you guys know, I like these pivots as well, as long as your settings are set up correctly. We can see that Algo, for example's sake, came down to the S1 of about 30 cents. Now we're just sitting around there, maybe a little bit below it, and hypothetically, XRP, their pivot, or the S1 pivot, is right just under 56 cents. We are currently over 57 cents right now. So if it slipped, it's nothing out of the ordinary. We can see if we're tapping these points in a little trend line here, could we come down to that S2? Possibly, wouldn't surprise me one bit. Guys, you have to understand, we went up hundreds of percent this year. So these little pullbacks are nothing but opportunities. It is not bad. Do not be sad. This is a blessing in disguise. All right. Also, something pretty interesting I want to show you guys with Algorand in the 4 hour. Let's turn on the 200 moving average and zoom out a bit. Notice it acts as support and resistance a lot, and that's what I like to utilize, at least on higher time frames sometimes, or the 4-hour, and just zoom out with the 50-day, 100, and 200 moving average. Notice we can see some resistance, we can see it acts as support and bounces, came back down, and perfect wick right on the 200 moving average. Now, this does not mean that XRP or any other asset will follow it for that matter, but I like to study this behavior. Notice a perfect wick right at 30 cents. Now, hypothetically, if XRP were to follow suit, where would this be? Let's turn on the 200. Right here, a little bit of a dip. So we're looking at maybe, I'd say 44 cents, give or take, 44, 45 cents, depending on if this, pulls up again. It would pull this 200 MA up as well in the days ahead. But very interesting for a potential buying opportunity if, I was patient and wanted to strike, because that's what, maybe 20% plus? Let me see. So if we went from, say, 57 cents all the way to, say, 44 cents, yeah, I'd say 20% plus, give or take, saving your money. And if you hypothetically, and this is just for fun, this is not to encourage you guys to try to wait for a lower price, this is just to show you outcomes and scenarios. Say you were at 44 or 5 cents, you bought there, and remember it dipped 22%, and then you rode up to the current price. That's almost 30% return right there by just waiting to strike. Now, this is just one little example. Now, to be honest, this is not how the reality of trading works by any means, but I just wanted to show you one certain outcome, all right? So let me pull up, let me do XRP, but let me pull up these 200 MAs because they're a bit distracting. I like to utilize these for other time frames and see what matches, when and where, but this market is looking pretty wild. It wouldn't take much for Bitcoin to just rocket up and pull the market up with it. And I know that typically we wait for these altcoins to lag, but 2020 is the definition, of the year, or the quote, expect the unexpected, right? See, we've had a lot of assets pull back massively. And, people are saying the bull run's here. I'm still waiting on some other alts. Now, XRP, love its performance. It was due. It was so due. It's been suppressed more than anything between that 20 and 30 cent range for far too long. Ethereum has had some great returns, but there's some other assets that, are kind of taking a little bit of a dip, but they've also had massive pumps. I mean, we had Ocean at 52 cents. We're back to 38. These swings are normal. I completely get it. Zilliqa was on fire, but, I don't know. I think a lot of people would agree with me that this market, it just doesn't feel quite right. Something is weird, and maybe it goes in line with the 6 to 8 weeks of waiting for this news, these regulations from the OCC. So I'm very excited for that. If it's, bad on price initially, I don't care. I am so bullish with this market. I understand what's coming. That would just be an opportunity for banks and these, custodians to accumulate more. Or is the bull run finally on and it's time to send it? So just keep that in mind. Look at all possibilities, guys. If you watch bullish news all the time, awesome. I encourage you guys to look at a bearish scenario just to keep your mind sharp, because you do not want to get caught slipping in this market one bit, and it's not going to hurt you. If anything, it'll just keep you more prepared and teach you to hedge properly. So anyways, let's keep going. And I know this is just a big rant video. Feels like it should be Friday. All right, so right here, guys, just on coinpaprika.com, favoriting a few cryptos that I like, and of course, there's plenty more. I wish they had QNT on CoinPaprika. I couldn't find it, so I don't know what's up with that. Was hoping they'd add it by now, but we'll see. But we have Quant, guys. I mean, these assets, 10xing, 100xing, is not out of the realm of possibility by any means when utility comes. And if Bitcoin does rocket like people hope and dream in due time, yes, that would absolutely pull the market up. The market capitalization of Bitcoin surpassed MasterCard. All right? So yeah, sky's the limit. $100 quant. Why on earth would that surprise anybody? It wouldn't surprise me one bit. $3 algo, $10 XRP, any of that. Yawn. I'm here for the big money, and I honestly have huge high hopes for this market, just like you guys. All right, even the conservative people have very, very high hopes, and they see the potential. Okay, really quick, guys, I want to show you two scenarios short term for XRP on the 4-hour overlaying a fib. So we have the bullish and bearish scenario. I'm going to show you the bullish scenario first. So right here with the arrow tool, we have point A around the 48 cent mark, and I'm just going where the candle body actually closed, all right? And we have two that closed right there. All right, and sometimes I do use the wicks, but I'm just going to remain consistent for this example. Now, point B is around, I'd say, 66, 67 cents. It has been fulfilled. Next, we are approaching point C. Now, the question is this: have we already hit it? And we are good, because we did hit. We can see this 618 extension at 55 cents. In my mind, that is enough to fulfill it, and we also had a wick that basically came to the 702. Is it game time, and are we going to rocket now to point D, which would potentially be around, what, 72 to 78 cents? All good and great. it supports this possibility, specifically if Bitcoin does decide to rocket up past 20K and surprise us. Now, keep in mind though, we do not know if this 618 has been fulfilled, and could we come down just a tad lower to the 786 around 52 cents and kind of be one little shakeout and then go all the way up. So that is the bullish scenario. We will see what happens. And now let me show you the bearish scenario as well, kind of going in line with what I showed you with algo, if we did potentially go down to those lower levels and sit in the 40-cent range. All right. So right here, bullish scenario, or bearish scenario, excuse me. When I'm talking fast in these videos, I usually mix up the terms. I promise I know the difference. And for the guy that comments in the section and tells me that Ripple's the company and XRP is the digital asset, thank you. I had no idea. So right here, with the arrow tool, we have A, now we have B, it's been fulfilled at 48 cents. And now we came all the way to point C, right at that 702, even wick to the 786 extension right there at 67 cents, absolute perfection. And then now the question is, do we go to point D, which would be quite a drop? We can see we could wick all the way to 41 cents. That would be kind of scary. It would scare a lot of people, but just understand, we went from 15 cents to 92 cents on Coinbase quickly. This is just a buying opportunity. And to get you guys excited, if you do have cash, whether it's $100, whatever you can afford, and set and forget and comfortably wait, because emotionally investing in this market is self-sabotage. I've been there. I've done that. Please learn from other people's mistakes instead of just learning from your own. It definitely helps. But hypothetically, if you bought at 41 cents, or let's say 42 cents, the dream scenario, or even 45 cents, and it went right back up to where it was, or it rocketed up to even the 1618 extension, that's 100% return right there. Now, you saw how fast things can move in this market. If you understand the historical data, you look at how XRP went from, under 30 cents to over $3 in less than 3 weeks, essentially, anything's possible in this market. Now, the question is this, though. I'm here for actual maturity of the market's utility to grow at scale. And, this volatility is, nerve-wracking. But at the end of the day, when the ground floor rises, the new ground floor, let's just zoom out really quick. So when the ground floor rises, guys, eventually the new bottom will be 50 cents. The new bottom will become $1. The sky is the limit for this asset class. I mean, just look at this. We have not seen anything. You could draw giant parallel channels and understand the sky's the limit. You can do basic math. You can look at the valuation frameworks that a variety of people have done, and you understand that this little all-time high of $3.84 on one of the highest exchanges was just a drop in the bucket. And yeah, pun intended, because obviously the smallest unit of XRP is called a drop, 1/1,000,000th of an XRP. So please understand, you guys have to decide for yourselves. There's no perfect exit plan for everybody. We're all in different areas. We all have different needs. We all have different expectations and goals. So at the end of the day, I just advocate that you keep doing your own research. You look and always are learning, and keep an open mind and entertain the thought that you could be wrong. And also right here. So typically we know right on the weekly, since this brings up my next point that I was going to forget to bring up, we know that after these huge pumps, it's not unusual for it to come down and touch that 9 EMA. It always does. When it dumped, it pumps right back up to it. Same thing, it pumped, comes right back up to it. Now, if we do pump, which could happen, this 9 EMA would come up higher to maybe 50 cents. But at the same time, guys, please, please, please do not be worried. Do not be scared if we do come down to the 40-cent level or 50-cent level. This is all but natural. We've been here before. And if you're a newcomer, this community is great. I know, Twitter can be a little toxic at times, but we all have your back. We're here to answer questions as a community because we are in it together. All right. So anyways, let's get into the news. Enough ranting on my end. I'm sick of hearing my own voice already. All right, so Quant, love it. Show you a few projects I really like and want to look more into. Dot, no doubt, love it. Tezos, interesting. Cosmos, VeChain, Celsius, Kusama, kind of like, the sandbox environment for Dot. Zilliqa is quite interesting and very good connections with Singapore. I know I was showing you guys, some trades last year in May when I was doing that. Algorand, of course, one of my babies. HBAR, Hedera, early, but a behemoth. I absolutely love it. Energy Web, very excited. I want to look more into RSR. I have some buddies that are extremely bullish on it and eventually get me to look into projects. But I just, there's so many things to keep up with all the time. I'm only one man, so I'm 100% certain someone watching this video has a killer project to share with me. So I'm very open-minded. I will be definitely more free in probably after New Year's though to chat. And if you guys want to do some live streams and stuff and interact with the community, absolutely. I've just been so swamped and busy, and obviously the market is exciting. There's so many developments, so I'm trying to keep videos going because I mean all I'm doing in my free time is researching, and I have very little free time. Also, Ava Labs, remember they were just at that Paris blockchain summit that is occurring these next 2 days. Very exciting. Ampleforth, very interesting. One of the assets that could be listed on Coinbase. Fetch AI, love it. Keeping up with it. Hope the best for this asset as well. There's a lot of them. I love Coinpaprika, but personally, I wish they added some more assets. Love looking at the all-time high. And I'm treating this video like a live stream and just ranting. Anyways, let's get into the news for those of you that stuck with me. Right here. We have on CoinDesk, crypto exchange Bittrex global list tokenized Apple, Amazon, Tesla stocks for trading. We also know some other exchanges that have done and are doing this, like Uphold.com. Right here, we have in other news, Apple, speaking of Apple, their legend, Apple legend Steve Wozniak, if you guys know him, his crypto company just launched its own token. Notice they're in Malta, very friendly jurisdiction across the board. We can see this is the WozX. Sounds like his last name. I like it. Native token aimed at transforming energy efficient markets. Wow, I was just talking about energy efficiency. Where was that? Right here, Energy Web, and they are partnered with the XRP Ledger Foundation, working with Ripple and many other initiatives. I highly recommend looking into these assets. And when I talk about an asset, guys, and I'm shilling it, I'm not telling you to buy it right now at the current price. We are in early days. Anything goes. This could be the all-time low, or it could see a pullback. So what I'm saying is, look into these assets. Do not FOMO into anything. Even if I say some project, go take 2 weeks, sit on it, think about it, research it, understand the tokenomics, the demand, the risk. Like, that's all I want to advocate, because I know there's some people, and I'm right there with you. Someone will say something, I'll get excited, and I'll go all in. And I try not to do that anymore, but I still repeat the same mistakes sometimes. All right. Anyways, we're seeing tokenization across the board, guys. We can see in the equities market, it is just getting started. And this is all thanks to what? DLT, specifically. Know what you hold. All right. Next up, we have Standard Chartered. They are a huge RippleNet partner and one of the first investors. We can see their Philippines bank issues almost $187 million, or what do you mean almost? $187 million blockchain bond. Very interesting, and we can see this project aims to provide retail investors with a platform to gain direct access to bonds. What is the biggest promise behind DLT besides, reducing intermediaries, transparency, immutability, redundancy, speed, cost, trust? It is financial inclusion, breaking down the walls, breaking down the barriers to allow an economy to operate at the highest efficient level. Next, sent to me by James Rule XRP, thank you, sir. So a survey on enhancing cross-border payments, FATF. Guys, right here, G20 cross-border payments roadmap, cross-border payment services are facing a number of challenges, including high cost, limited access, low speed, and insufficient transparency. And you want to know another issue besides, AML, KYC, all of these other issues? Liquidity. Yes, and we own crypto assets that are solving and can literally remedy this situation. Anyways, we'll see how this continues on, and of course we are keeping an eye on the G20 as well. Next up, we have right here Wrath Economy sharing this. So Ripple Investor, SBI, and Six Digital Exchange have formed a JV in Singapore, another friendly jurisdiction. And of course, I believe, Swisscom is involved as well, to issue, trade, and store digital assets for institutional investors. This is shortly after Six invested in CustoDigit, an institutional-grade crypto custody firm, launching Q1 of 2021. Guys, next year is going to be a year to remember. Now, I've said that 2020 was full of all of the greatest developments in news. I am really hoping that we get some massive surprises in developments. Understand, whatever happens with price, even if it starts mooning, that's still a distraction. I am not even selling. I mean, yeah, you can take profit, do whatever you want, but I'm not really selling my XRP, to be honest. I've already shared my, funny exit plan in the previous video, but please just be patient, know what you hold. I think a lot of silly people are going to sell 100% of their bags too soon. There's nothing wrong with taking profit, paying off your mortgage, treating yourself, but I am letting a good percentage of my bag ride for life if I can afford to do so. All right, so you understand SBI, one of the biggest shareholders of Ripple and R3, and also B2C2, remember, Blink. This is massive. We have to keep an eye on this as well. All right, next up, already translated that into English from Japanese. Right here, Wrath Economist again, guys. So we know EuroXM is a bank and they utilize XRP, and now we have a specific document on their website. So more direct confirmation. EuroXM, and remember, what was his name? Graham Bright, I believe, and I've shown a lot of video clips of him on this channel of EuroXM, and they're using XRP in their 2020 corporate profile. And he goes on to say, I don't suppose these flows can be definitely spotted by the various liquidity trackers. How exciting, guys. I mean, this is the asset class you own, and we are owning it when people are fearful and still doubt it. That is bullish, and that is a good sign for me. So let's just open up this document, take a quick peek, and see what we have here. So we have chairman's message. The chairman, right here, EuroXM Bank, facilitators of global trade, is well equipped to service corporate and SMEs, small medium enterprises, in these unprecedented times with our innovative blockchain-enabled SimpleX trade platform with immutable information gathering and sharing and supporting Ripple, real-time payments, and frictionless low liquidity transactions with underlying XRP cryptocurrency. Absolutely love it, guys. I retweeted this, encourage all of you guys to read this further. And this gentleman, I will butcher your name, but awesome. Thank you for mentioning XRP. Right here, China enables digital yuan P2P transfers in new pilot launch. So to no surprise, we can see that they can actually transfer their digital currency to one another by simply tapping their phones. Now, if you guys are familiar with RFID chips and even NFC near field communication, or even, shopping in those new Amazon grocery stores, this is simply the way of the future. Literally autonomy in every single way, simplification, simplifying everything. So keep an eye on this. This is just the beginning. Of course, I'd expect some additional applications like PayPal and Venmo to incorporate this in the future as well to a higher degree. Next, breaking: G7 finance ministers support regulating cryptocurrencies. The higher the price of this entire market gets, the more pressing the matter is to regulate crypto. Now that Bitcoin is essentially surpassed or is approaching its all-time high right now, once again, since 2017, 2018, it is pressing, it is urgent to obviously do this, because we have to think of the implications of the miners in China, even the miners in the US, the other corporations, or think of MicroStrategy that dumped a whole bunch of funds into Bitcoin, and that worked out exceedingly well. There are so many implications. There are going to be some very powerful people in this ecosystem. You guys can talk about, national security threats, whatever you want. I'm just saying I want a high market capitalization for all crypto, because it will finally give us the clarity we want. Not more rules, clarity. I want clarity so XRP can finally take off and they know what they can and cannot do. All right. Next, we got Spain's second largest bank will soon launch crypto services sources. All of this news is literally just dominoing. It just keeps coming down. BBVA, guys, by the way, huge RippleNet partner, and the second largest bank in Spain with about 840 billion in assets. No big deal. And notice their attention is caught, and I'm sure they've been a part of this game all along. And every day people are going to read this and go, "Oh, they're finally getting involved." No, they've had their eyes on this the whole time. These smart financial advisors out there and custodians have had this planned all along. Listen to Larry Fink over at BlackRock, one of the world's largest custodians, well over $6 trillion. So right here, they're entering trading and custody. We also know NASDAQ is partnered with who? R3. We also saw Bitstamp's integrations. We saw Bank of America's integrations with, what was it? Integramat. We have to keep an eye on all of this. And honestly, without this community, we would be nowhere. Like, the ability of all of us to be able to look at so many different things simultaneously and bounce ideas and speculate is so powerful and healthy. Some people roll their eyes, they hate speculation, they call everything hype, but I think it will pay off massively in the future. And you know what? The last laugh is all that matters. Next, we have Matthew LINY sharing. Ripple partner Transfergo and MasterCard are in a new partnership for transfers. So we know Ripple, their partner Earthport, acquired by Visa. Well, now we have their partner Transfergo and MasterCard. All roads lead to Rome. Nah, all roads lead to Ripple. That was improv. Next, Transfergo and MasterCard in new partnership for transfers. We can keep an eye on this. I'm going to be looking into this further as well. Essentially, though, I'm not surprised one bit. We see all of these, fintechs, these huge bodies, card processors partnering essentially to, get something mutual and get deeper access into regions and expand their customer base. Next up, so this is Singapore government to invest $9 million toward blockchain research and adoption overall. Again, $9 million US dollars, Singaporean dollar, it's about $12 million or 12 million Singaporean dollars. I don't know the exact conversion rate there. Well, now I do. But anyways, We can see this initiative will engage about 75 companies to conceptualize 17 blockchain projects within the next 3 years in sectors starting with trade, logistics, and supply chain. Very exciting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And then right here, I like this quote. The COVID pandemic has shown that businesses and even entire industries have to change. Very important, guys. I cannot emphasize that enough. I can't stress it enough. With the booming demand for digital solutions, digital currencies, digital means of payment, tracking, able to receive it anywhere. If it has a central point of failure and the server's down, you can't access your bank account or even use the app. Like, that's ridiculous. So that's why there's going to be multiple points of failure, multiple nodes, or even multiple validators on ledgers like the XRP ledger. It only makes sense. Everyone is future-proofing now because they have to. This chaos, this pandemic, and my heart goes out to everybody that was affected financially or health-wise or even mentally and psychologically. But at the same time, this chaos can bring order to some degree. All right, and I am not happy with this year one bit. Don't get me wrong, it's been very frustrating. It breaks my heart and frankly upsets me to see children wearing masks and going to school like that. I couldn't even fathom that. Anyways, back to the topic at hand before I start ranting again. We got Paxful launches crypto debit card for US residents. Again, Paxful, another group to keep an eye on. We have, Uphold, we have Coinbase, we have all of them putting out these like Visa cards and debit cards. And I mean, lowering the barrier to entry, allowing everyday people, allowing your grandma to get involved. This is what's happening. And I don't care how old you are. I know people that are 80 years old in this ecosystem, and I know people that are 20 years old. There's all ages, all races, everything. I love it. And this is what DLT is about, financial inclusion. And again, if you have ears, you're going to listen. And those that have ears are listening to this opportunity at hand. Next, we got Citigroup partners with central banks to build central bank digital currencies. The CEO reveals. So CBDCs. At the end of the day, XRP can bridge a central bank digital currency. It can bridge a non-digital version of fiat. It doesn't matter. But why do I talk about all these central bank digital currency initiatives? It's not always just screaming XRP. What I'm screaming is that these banks see the value in cryptography or even blockchain or DLT and going digital. And this is obviously pushing integrations to be a lot easier in the future. I can't emphasize it enough. This is, the absolute future for value and information. All right. And last but not least, guys, so Ripple just partnered with this Australian public company. This is Novati. I can't pronounce it. I am not an Aussie, but nonetheless exciting. As we can see, they have officially announced that they have partnered with Ripple. So because of this tie-up, its customers will be able to gain access to the global financial network, RippleNet, that covers over 55 countries and 120 currency pairs. That is very exciting, and I expect the combinations are going to be growing big time. If you're a newcomer to, Ripple, XRP, and the correspondent banking network, and why I am so excited and I have zero doubt in this ecosystem, and it's just a matter of patience, is because let's say you have two fiat currencies, maybe the rupiah or the rupee, and let's do the Ukrainian hryvnia, for example. Maybe they don't have a direct pair to get to each other. Maybe the hryvnia can't get to the rupiah. Maybe it has to go to the euro and then to the rupiah or the rupee and then go to rupiah. Things of that nature. With XRP going directly between them, and let's say it's only, a total of 50 currencies, do you know how many combinations you can get created? That is a bunch of liquidity as well, and it increases a bunch of demand towards XRP because you are actually saving half a spread. You're not converting it from you're not US dollar to rupee to euro and you're not doing it multiple times. You literally have half a spread. XRP can be any currency with a single trade or any equity or stock. So yeah, it gets very deep, and hopefully you understand a little bit why I'm so excited, because right now I understand price is a distraction. I'm as impatient as you guys. I've been waiting quite a long time, but I have zero doubt in this ecosystem. It is happening, and they will not be shaking me out, and hopefully they do not shake you out either. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.